Okay, so last week we provided everyone with an overview of Sahaja Yoga meditation. We spoke about this, what we call a subtle system that is inside each one of us. Next week, we will start going a little bit into detail regarding our channels. You can see in this chart here, we have the left channel, the right channel, and then we also have the central channel, which is the path of our Kundalini. Last week, we talked about how our Kundalini is dormant at the bottom of the spine, in the bone called as the sacrum bone. The Greeks knew that there was something significant about this bone, and they named it the sacrum. And once this energy is awakened through the affirmation exercise, through the desire that we express, when the Kundalini is awakened, she rises up along the spine, and eventually she reaches this last center in the brain, the limbic area, and she takes our attention beyond our thoughts, beyond our mind, and she comes actually out through what we call as the fontanelle bone area, and gives us the yoga, the connection. When this happens, spontaneously we enter into the state of meditation, or we call as thoughtless awareness. So this week I thought we could focus on, I suppose, something that's very practical. What are the immediate things or the most direct techniques that we have in Sahaja Yoga to reduce our thoughts? How do we help the Kundalini reach and relax the limbic area? So I believe I mentioned last week, we can start with using very simple affirmations, and they're mostly for the center on the forehead. But even without putting our hand across the forehead, we can use these affirmations. If you find that when you're sitting down to meditate and you have a lot of thoughts coming and going, so we forgive the thought, so we say, I forgive inside silently, or we can say, not now, trying not to follow the thought. Another, I would say, very important part of our meditation in Sahaja Yoga is to always start with balancing ourselves or clearing ourselves. And we'll explain more about this as we move on throughout the classes. Last week, we tried balancing just the left channel. So this week we'll incorporate also balancing the right channel. What also helps us is using the natural elements to clear our chakras. So we'll be showing you different, very simple techniques that we can do at home using the natural elements such as water, or even the fire element, the Mother Earth, definitely, to clear our chakras. So essentially, the more balanced and cleansed is our subtle system, slowly over time, the better the quality of our meditations. So here's a very good diagram or illustration showing where we would like to keep our attention when we meditate. Last week we mentioned that in Sahaja Yoga, we're not trying to focus on our breathing or any specific object or any specific image in our minds. We're definitely not forcing ourselves, using a lot of effort to let go of our thoughts. On the other hand, we're allowing this natural process to happen. So eventually, through using the affirmation exercise, you will see that the Kundalini pulls our attention up to this fontanelle area where babies have the soft spot. On the top of the head is a little bit towards the front of the head, and it is where we put our right hand in the last step of the affirmation exercise. Very often, there is actually a physical sensation that the Kundalini attracts your attention here. You may feel some pulling, you may feel some tingling. There may be some sensation here. And you will see that with time, it becomes effortless and it becomes spontaneous. If you find that in your meditation, your attention gets stuck somewhere along in your body, maybe here, maybe still, which is the level of the mind. Eventually, you will see that whatever is maybe the blockage will clear, and your attention will be able to reach this last center. But at the beginning, you may want to just keep on using the affirmation for that center in order to remove the blockage and help your attention pass through and get to the top of the head. So that was all I really wanted to cover before we start our meditation today. So very similar to our first class, we will go through the affirmation exercise together. Today we will have the chance to practice balancing both the left side and the right side. I have prepared a short video of Shimataji, the founder of Sahaja Yoga, of her answering some questions regarding Kundalini. And then we will finish up, if there is time remaining, with the silent meditation. So again, if you have questions anytime, you can type it into the chat box, and I will keep an eye on it. Otherwise, this week I have prepared a slide here so that you can easily refer to where our hand is placed on our body, specific to our different centers or chakras, as we're going through the affirmations. And I will guide you through the affirmations again that you can say inside. Then, as I mentioned, I'm going to put this one up on the screen. You can see that we will balance the left side and balance the right side. The left side is our emotional aspect, and the right side is, you can say, our mental and physical aspect. So we will incorporate these also at the end of the meditation today. So whenever you are ready, I would say make sure you're sitting very comfortably. We always recommend that, hopefully you're at home so you don't have shoes on. We always recommend that you keep your shoes off. Keep your feet a little bit apart from each other. So you can see that the left hand is just open, resting on the lap, the palm facing upwards. That's the left hand. And then we put our right hand on the different centers. Start from the heart, then the left side of the stomach, left side of the abdomen. We bring our hand back up to the stomach, to the heart, then the corner of the neck and the shoulder. We put our right hand behind the head, across the forehead, and then finally on the very last center, the last chakra on the top of the head. And we try to station our attention here and let go of our thoughts and allow the state of meditation to happen. So whenever you're ready, It's preferable if you can close your eyes. We keep our left hand on the lap, facing upwards. We put our right hand on the heart on the left-hand side. Try to bring our attention inside. And all of the affirmations that we use, we are addressing this Kundalini energy inside us. And in Sahaja Yoga, we call her as the Mother Kundalini because she is like our individual mother who has been with us throughout all of our lives, and she's completely aware of our inner state. So let's start with the right hand on the heart. We ask 3 times inside, Mother Kundalini, am I the pure spirit? Just silently inside yourself, Mother Kundalini, am I the pure spirit? We bring our right hand down to the left side of the stomach. Here we ask inside 3 times, Mother Kundalini, am I my own master? Am I my own guru? We bring our right hand down to the left side of the abdomen. The center has 6 petals, and we're going to ask the question 6 times inside. Mother Kundalini, please give me the pure knowledge about myself. 6 times. We bring our right hand back up to the left side of the stomach. This time we're going to affirm inside. The center has 10 petals, and we're going to affirm 10 times inside. Mother Kundalini, I am my own master. I am my own guru. 10 times. We bring our right hand back up to the heart. We're going to now affirm 12 times. Mother Kundalini, I am the pure spirit. 12 times. Next, we bring our right hand up to the corner of the neck and the shoulder, on the left-hand side of the body. This is a center which becomes affected, or we can say constricted, when we carry guilt inside of us. So to clear this center and allow our awakening, the Kundalini energy to rise and pass through the center, we say 16 times, not to worry about being too exact, but as far as possible, 16 times we say inside, Mother Kundalini, I am not guilty of anything at all. We bring our right hand to the back of the head. Here we ask inside, Mother Kundalini, please forgive me for any mistakes I have made, knowingly or unknowingly. A few times. And at the front of our head, across the forehead, with our right hand on the center, this is where inside, without thinking about anyone or anything in particular, from our heart, as many times as is necessary, we say inside, Mother Kundalini, I forgive myself and I forgive everyone in general. Finally, we bring our right palm to the top of the head where we saw previously the fontanelle bone is, just slightly towards the front on the top of the head. We place our right palm, we press down so that there is some pressure. We can actually rotate, or we can say we massage the center so that you can feel your scalp moving. We move our hand in a clockwise direction. And this is where, with our desire and attention inside, we ask 7 times, Mother Kundalini, please give me my self-realization. 7 times. So as we mentioned earlier, as much as possible, we will try our best to keep our attention when we sit down to meditate. We keep our attention in this very last center on the top of the head. If you have thoughts coming inside, you can say, I forgive, or not now. We're going to keep our left hand resting on the lap. Right hand, we're going to point towards the Mother Earth. This is one of the most basic ways in Sahaja Yoga that we take help from the natural element, in this case, the Mother Earth. We request the Mother Earth to remove all the negativities and all the, we call as heaviness, all the obstructions, all the imbalances in our left side. Now we're going to bring our right hand to the lap, resting on the lap, palm facing upwards, and we're going to raise the left hand towards the sky. By doing this, we're requesting that, you can say, the air element or the ether element absorb the overactivity in the right channel, which is our mental activity and also physical side. So again, for a minute, we do our best to keep our attention on the top of the head. So before we run out of time for today's class, I will show a very short video clip of Shimataji, the founder of Sahaja Yoga, answering some questions regarding the Kundalini. And as you know, if you have any questions, you can type them into the chat box. Or in case we run out of time later, please, you can contact me through this email address at the bottom. So let me know if there's any issues with the audio.
What is the first step to self-realization?
There is nothing like first, second. It's not a course, see? The Kundalini, it's an awakening within us, which takes place, which is like a living process, all right? So the Kundalini rises and shoots off here. Now, some people feel the Kundalini wobbling down there, down below. Some people feel it in the stomach. Some people feel it here. Some people feel it here. But most of them feel it here only, jetting out like cool breeze. So you just can't say what is the first step, depends on how it rises. So everybody doesn't feel the same way. So I can't say that this is the first stage. All right? Of course, first you feel thoughtlessly aware. You become thoughtlessly aware. First thing that should happen to you when the Kundalini crosses this center. When it comes out of it, you start feeling the cool breeze here, and you start feeling the cool breeze in your hands, and you start feeling the cool breeze around. That's the second stage where it can go. What?
Can anyone be realised without knowing about Kundalini?
Can anyone be realized without knowing about Kundalini?
About mentally, need not know much can be realized. Of course, you can be. But then you have to tell them what it is. This thing is better to do that way. But there will be very few who will accept such a situation because they want to know about everything. But they need not know all that. You can little bit say, tell them that there is a way of getting realization. And then it's like this, that when you come to me, you want to have the lights, I'll say, all right, go. There's a switch you put on. And you put on the switch, you get the lights without telling about it. But you would like to know how this light is done. And then that helps you to create other lights. That's why it is important to know about Kundalini. I can do it without telling you anything about Kundalini. I can raise your Kundalini, but you would not know anything about it, and you would not know what it is. It has happened with many who were born realized. They did not know they were realized souls, and they got lost. Like I would say, greatest example, Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci was a realized soul, and he got lost because he didn't know he was a realized soul. He was a higher personality than others. He got lost. So many got lost like that.
Excuse me, if your Kundalini was arisen and you were that, how could you be lost? I mean, you have it, so how could you be lost?
How can you be lost if the Kundalini has been awakened?
No, it is because you see, it is you are not yet fully developed, matured person. When you are in an immature state, it does happen. Kundalini is when it rises, you'll be surprised. In some people, it is just a wee bit, just like a hair, just comes up a little because it's so difficult. You see, the passage is so blocked, so a little bit comes up. This is what it is. It is a complete realization takes place only when you are nirvikalpa samadhi. That's a higher state. So in the beginning, it just a little wee bit opens up, and 1% people do get lost. They do because they have egos, they have super egos, all kinds of things. They do get lost. So be careful.
How and where did you receive the power to awaken the Kundalini
Me,
in us and other people?
how and
How and where did you receive the ability to awaken the Kundalini in them?
I had it, born with it. One can be born with it. But I realized that to give our mass realization, 7th center has to be open, first of all. That I did on the 5th of May, 1970. And then I realized that with this happening, one can achieve our mass realization. But till that time, I had to understand human beings. So by my subtle methods, I tried to understand what was their problem, what chakras they had in trouble, how I have to work out the permutations and combinations in such a way that our mass realization can be achieved. So this our mass realization, I started from that day. Before that, I did not speak about it. Because what's the use of another Bible or another Gita? Better to achieve the results. Unless and until human beings realize that there are higher stories of awareness within them, whatever you may tell them, they are not going to understand. So first it must be done. They have to realize that there are higher awareness states which we have to achieve, which we have achieved. And then they can go further. My father himself was a very great evolved soul. And he told me that those who are born on the 10th story shouldn't talk about it. They should come down and try to raise the people at least to the 1st or 2nd story so they realize there are stories beyond. Because if they just talk about the 10th story, people will think they are crazy or they'll crucify them. They'll never understand. That won't be practical.
All right. So we will be back again next week, same time. Again, if you have any questions, you can reach me at this email address, and I would also love to know what suggestions or feedback you may have regarding the class. So next week, we'll start to move more into the knowledge of our channels and our chakras, and moving more into variations in our meditation. So thanks for joining me, and have a good evening, everyone. We will see you next week.